The truth about Venus Williams. Venus Ebony Starr Williams, born June 17, 1980, is an American professional tennis player who is currently ranked world number 5 in the WTA singles rankings. She is generally regarded as one of the all-time greats of women's tennis and, along with younger sister Serena Williams, is credited with ushering in a new era of power and athleticism on the women's professional tennis tour. Williams has been ranked world number 1 by the Women's Tennis Association on 3 occasions, for a total of 11 weeks. She first became the world number 1 on February 25, 2002, the first African-American woman to do so in the Open era. Her 7 Grand Slam singles titles puts her in a tie for 12th on the all-time list, and a tie for 8th on the Open era list, more than any other active female player except her sister Serena. In total she has reached 16 Grand Slam finals, the most recent being the finals at Wimbledon in 2017. She has also won 14 Grand Slam women's doubles titles, all with her sister Serena, and the pair are unbeaten in Grand Slam doubles finals. Venus also has 2 mixed doubles titles. Her 5 Wimbledon singles titles ties her with 2 other women for 8th place on the all-time list, but gives her sole possession of number 4 on the Open era list, only trailing Navratilova's 9 titles and Serena's and Graf's 7 titles. From the 2000 Wimbledon Championships to the 2001 U.S. Open, Williams won 4 of the 6 Grand Slam singles tournaments held. At the 2017 Wimbledon Championships, Williams extended her record as the all-time leader, male or female, in Grand Slams played, with 75. Williams's run to the 2017 Wimbledon singles final also broke the record for time elapsed between first and most recent Grand Slam singles finals appearances. Williams has won 4 Olympic gold medals, 1 in singles and 3 in women's doubles, along with a silver medal in mixed doubles. Venus also holds the record for the most Olympic medals won by a male or female tennis player, shared with Kathleen McCain-Godfrey. She is the only tennis player to have won a medal at 4 separate Olympic Games. At the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Williams became only the 2nd player to win Olympic gold medals in both singles and doubles at the same Olympic Games, after Helen Wills Moody in 1924. With 49 singles titles, Williams is behind only Serena among active players on the WTA Tour. Her 35-match winning streak from the 2000 Wimbledon Championships to the 2000 Generali Ladies Slims Tournament final is the longest since January 1, 2000. She is also one of only 3 active WTA players to have made the finals of all 4 Grand Slams, along with Serena and Russian Maria Sharapova. Early life. Venus Ebony Starr Williams was born in Linwood, California, to Richard Williams and Oracene Price. Her talents were apparent at the age of 7 when a professional local tennis player named Tony Chesta spotted Venus Williams and quickly identified the talent. The Williams family moved from Compton, California, to West Palm Beach, Florida, when she was 10, so that Venus and Serena could attend the tennis academy of Rick Macci, who took notice of the sisters and who would provide additional coaching. He did not always agree with Williams's father but respected that he treated his daughters like kids, allowed them to be little girls. Richard stopped sending his daughters to national junior tennis tournaments when Williams was 11, since he wanted them to take it slow and focus on schoolwork. Another motivation was racial, as he had allegedly heard parents of other players disparage the Williams sisters during tournaments. At that time, Venus Williams held a 63-0 record on the United States Tennis Association Junior Tour and was ranked number 1 among the under-12 players in Southern California. In 1995, Richard pulled his daughters out of Macci's academy, and from then on took over all coaching at their home. Playing style. Williams is a very powerful baseline who also has an attacking all-court game. Her game is well adapted to grass, where she feels most comfortable, which is reflected in her 5 Wimbledon singles titles. She has developed into a skillful volleyer who uses her long arm span, 1.85 meters, and agility around the net. Williams also has great court coverage and can hit winners from a defensive position. Williams holds the record for fastest serve in 3 of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments: 2007 French Open second round, 2008 Wimbledon final, 2007 U.S. Open first round, 129 mph, 208 km per hour. Professional career, 1994-96, professional debut. Venus Williams turned professional on October 31, 1994, at the age of 14. In the second round of her first professional tournament, the Bank of the West Classic in Oakland, Williams was up a set in a service break against world number 2 Arantxa Sanchez Vicario before losing the match. That was the only tournament Williams played in 1994. In 1995, Williams played 3 more events as a wild card, falling in the first round of the tournament in Los Angeles and the tournament in Toronto, but reaching the quarter-finals of the tournament in Oakland, defeating world number 18 Amy Frazier in the second round for her first win over a top 20 ranked player before losing to Magdalena Maliva. Williams played 5 events in 1996, falling in the first round 4 times but reaching the third round in Los Angeles, before losing to world number 1 Steffi Graf. 1997-99, early success. 1997, debut Grand Slam singles final. Williams played 15 tour events in 1997, including 5 TRI tournaments. She reached the quarter-finals in 3 of the TRI events, the State Farm Everett Cup in Indian Wells, California, the European Indoor Championships in Zurich, and the Kremlin Cup in Moscow. In Indian Wells in March, Williams defeated world number 9 Eva Majoli in the third round for her first win over a player ranked in the top 10. She then lost in the quarter-finals to world number 8 Lindsay Davenport in a third-set tie-break. Her ranking broke into the top 100 on April 14, 1997. She made her debut in the main draw of a Grand Slam tournament at the French Open, reaching the second round before losing to Natalie Tauziet. She then lost in the first round of Wimbledon to Magdalena Grzybowska. During her debut at the U.S. Open, she lost the final to Martina Hingis after defeating Irina Spurley in a semi-final, which saw Spurley intentionally collide with Williams during a changeover. Richard Williams, her father, later claimed that this incident was racially motivated. She was the first woman since Pam Shriver in 1978 to reach a U.S. Open singles final on her first attempt and was the first unseeded U.S. Open women's singles finalist since 1958. On September 8, 1997, her ranking broke into the top 50 for the first time. She ended the year ranked world number 22. 1998, first WTA singles title and entering the top 10, in her debut at the Australian Open. Williams defeated younger sister Serena in the second round, which was the sisters' first professional meeting. Venus eventually lost in the quarter-finals to world number 3 Davenport. 3 weeks later, Williams defeated world number 2 Davenport for the first time in the semi-finals of the IGA Tennis Classic in Oklahoma City. Williams then defeated Joannette Kruger in the final to win the first singles title of her career. In her first TRI event of the year, Williams lost in the semi-finals of the State Farm Everett Cup in Indian Wells to world number 1 Hingis. The following week, Williams won the TRI Lipton International Players Championships in Key Biscayne, Florida, defeating world number 1 Hingis in the semi-finals. On March 30, 1998, her ranking broke into the top 10 for the first time, at world number 10. Williams played only 1 tournament on clay before the 1998 French Open. At the Italian Open in Rome, she defeated sister Serena in the quarter-finals and world number 5 Sanchez Vicario in the semi-finals before losing to world number 1 Hingis in the final. Williams lost again to Hingis in the quarter-finals of the French Open. Williams lost her first match at the Direct Line International Championships in Eastbourne on grass before losing to world number 3 and eventual champion Jana Novotná in the quarter-finals of Wimbledon. On July 27, 1998, her ranking rose to world number 5. Williams played 3 tournaments during the North American 1998 summer hard-court season. She reached her 5th final of the year at the Bank of the West Classic in Stanford, California, defeating world number 6 Monica Seles in the semi-finals before losing to world number 1 Davenport. Patellar tendinitis in her left knee caused her to retire from her quarter-final match at the tournament in San Diego while trailing Mary Pierce 4-0 in the third set. At the U.S. Open, Williams defeated 4th-seeded Sanchez Vicario in the quarter-finals before losing to 2nd-seeded and eventual champion Davenport in the semi-finals. Williams played 4 tournaments in the remainder of 1998. She won her 3rd title of the year at the Grand Slam Cup in Munich in September, defeating world number 9 Patty Schneider in the final. She lost in the second round of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Filderstadt before losing in the final of the TRI Swisscom Challenge in Zurich to world number 1 Davenport and the semi-finals of the TRI Kremlin Cup in Moscow to Pierce. She had earned enough points during the year to participate in the year-ending Chase Championship but withdrew from the tournament because of tendinitis in her knee. She finished the year ranked world number 5. In 1998, Williams teamed with Justin Gimelstob to win the mixed doubles titles at the Australian Open and the French Open. Her sister Serena won the other 2 Grand Slam mixed doubles titles that year, completing a Williams family mixed doubles Grand Slam. Williams won the first 2 women's doubles titles of her career, in Oklahoma City and Zurich. Both titles came with sister Serena, becoming only the 3rd pair of sisters to win a WTA Tour doubles title. 1999, 3 TRI titles and first Grand Slam doubles title. Williams started the 1999 Tour in Australia, where she lost to world number 10 Steffi Graf in the quarter-finals of the Medibank International in Sydney and world number 1 Davenport in the quarter-finals of the Australian Open. However, she rebounded at the Faber Grand Prix in Hanover, defeating Graf for the first time in the semi-finals before losing the final to world number 3 Novotná. Williams then successfully defended her titles in both Oklahoma City and Key Biscayne. She defeated Novotná and Graf to reach the final in Key Biscayne, where she defeated Serena in 3 sets in the first final on the WTA Tour to be contested by 2 sisters. Williams played 4 clay court events during the spring. She lost her first match at the Bausch and Lomb Championships in Amelia Island, Florida. 3 weeks later, however, she won her first title on clay at the Betty Barr Clay Cup in Hamburg, defeating Mary Pierce in the final. Williams then won the TRI Italian Open in Rome, defeating world number 1 Hingis in the semi-finals and world number 8 Pierce in the final. At the French Open, she extended her winning streak to 22 matches before losing in the 4th round to world number 125 Barbara Schwartz. Williams teamed with Serena to win the women's doubles title at this event, the first Grand Slam title the pair won together. At the 1999 Wimbledon Championships, Williams defeated world number 17 Anna Kournikova in the 4th round to reach the quarter-finals for the 2nd consecutive year, where she lost to eventual runner-up Graf. Williams rebounded in the summer when she won 2 Fed Cup matches against Italy and lost in the final of the Bank of the West Classic in Stanford to world number 1 Davenport. 1 week later, Williams defeated Davenport in the semi-finals of the TIG Tennis Classic in San Diego before losing to world number 2 Hingis in the final. In her last tournament before the U.S. Open, Williams won the Pilot Pen Tennis in New Haven, Connecticut, defeating world number 5 Salas in the semi-finals and Davenport in the final. On August 30, 1999, her world ranking reached 3rd for the first time. Seeded 3rd at the U.S. Open, Williams lost in the semi-finals to world number 1 Hingis in 3 sets. However, she teamed with singles champion Serena at this event to win their 2nd Grand Slam women's doubles title. During the remainder of the year, Williams contributed to the USA's victory over Russia in the Fed Cup final, winning 1 singles rubber before joining Serena to win the doubles rubber. At the Grand Slam Cup in Munich, Venus defeated Hingis in the semi-finals before losing to Serena for the first time in the final. Venus won her 6th title of the year at the TRI event in Zurich, defeating world number 1 Hingis in the final. 4 weeks later, she lost to Davenport in the semi-finals of the tournament in Philadelphia. Making her debut at the year-ending Chase Championships, Williams lost to Hingis in the semi-finals. She finished the year ranked world number 3. 2000-02, Williams sisters domination. 2000, Olympic gold medals and first and second Grand Slam titles. In 2000, Williams missed the first 5 months of the year with tendinitis in both wrists. She returned to the tour during the European clay court season. She lost in the quarter-finals of the Betty Barr Clay Cup in Hamburg to Amanda Coetzer and in the 3rd round of the TRI Italian Open in Rome to Jelena Dokic. Although she had won only 2 of her 4 matches before the French Open, she was seeded 4th there. She won her first 4 matches in Paris without losing a set before losing in the quarter-finals to 8th-seeded and former champion Arantxa Sanchez Vicario in 3 sets. Williams then won 35 consecutive singles matches and 6 tournaments. She won her first Grand Slam singles title at Wimbledon, defeating world number 1 Martina Hingis in the quarter-finals, sister Serena in the semi-finals, and defending champion Lindsay Davenport in the final. She also teamed with Serena to win the women's doubles title at this event. She won 3 Tier 2 events during the North American Summer Hardcourt season, defeating Davenport in the final of the Bank of the West Classic in Stanford and Monica Seles in the finals of both the Acura Classic in San Diego and the Pilot Pen Tennis Championships in New Haven. At the U.S. Open, Williams defeated world number 1 Hingis in the semi-finals and world number 2 Davenport in the final. At the Olympic Games in Sydney, she defeated Sanchez Vicario in the quarter-finals, Seles in the semi-finals, and Elena Dementieva in the final to win the gold medal. She also won the gold medal in women's doubles with her sister Serena. Davenport eventually snapped her winning streak in October in the final of the Linz Open. Williams did not play a tournament the rest of the year because of anemia. She finished the year ranked world number 3 and with 6 singles titles. 2001, 3rd and 4th Grand Slam titles. In 2001, Williams reached the semi-finals of the Australian Open for the first time, where she lost to world number 1 Hingis. However, Venus teamed with Serena to win the doubles title at the event, completing a career Golden Slam in women's doubles for the pair. Williams also reached the semi-finals of the Tier I Tennis Masters Series tournament in Indian Wells, California, where she controversially defaulted her match with sister Serena just before the match started. Venus had been suffering from knee tendinitis throughout the tournament and eventually this prevented her from playing. The following day, Venus and her father Richard were booed as they made their way to their seats to watch the final. Serena was subsequently booed during the final with Kim Clijsters and during the trophy presentation. Due to this, neither Williams' sister entered the tournament for 14 years, with Serena entering in 2015 after appeals for forgiveness from the event and the WTA Tour. Venus rebounded from the Indian Wells boycott controversy to win the next tournament on the tour calendar, the Tier I Ericsson Open in Key Biscayne, Florida. She defeated Hingis in the semi-finals and world number 4 Jennifer Capriati in the final, after saving 8 championship points. Because of this victory, her ranking rose to a career high of world number 2. During the European clay court season, Williams won the Tier 2 tournament in Hamburg but lost in the 3rd round of the Tier I Rockard Ladies German Open to world number 18 Justine Henin and the 1st round of the French Open to Barbara Schitt. This was only the 2nd time that she had lost in the 1st round of a Grand Slam singles tournament. Williams then successfully defended her Wimbledon title, defeating 3rd-seeded Davenport in the semi-finals and 8th-seeded Henin in 3 sets in Henin's first Wimbledon final. During the North American Summer Hardcourt season, Williams won for the 2nd consecutive year the tournaments in San Diego, defeating Seles in the final, and in New Haven, defeating Davenport in the final. Williams also won the U.S. Open singles title for the 2nd consecutive year, without dropping a set. In the quarter-finals, she beat 5th-seeded Clijsters, followed by a semi-final victory over world number 2 Capriati. She played Serena in the final, which was the first Grand Slam singles final contested by 2 sisters during the Open era. Venus won the match and her 4th Grand Slam singles title. Venus also became only the 6th woman in history to win the singles titles at both Wimbledon and the U.S. Open in consecutive years, the others being Martina Navratilova, twice, Steffi Graf, twice, Althea Gibson, Maureen Connolly Brinker, and Helen Wills Moody, twice. 2002, world number 1 ranking in 4 consecutive Grand Slam singles finals, Williams began 2002 by winning the Mondial Australian Women's Hardcourts in Gold Coast, Australia, defeating Henin in the final. However, she then lost for the first time in her career to Seles in the quarter-finals of the Australian Open. Williams then went on to win the Open Gaz de France in Paris when Jelena Dokic withdrew from the final, and the Proximus Diamond Games in Antwerp, Belgium, defeating Henin in the final. As a result of her strong start to the season, Williams assumed the world number 1 position for the first time on February 25, dislodging Capriati. Williams was the first African-American woman ever to hold the ranking. She held it for just 3 weeks before surrendering it back to Capriati. Williams failed to defend her title in Miami after losing in the semi-finals to Serena. However, she made a strong start to the clay court season, winning the Bausch and Lomb Championships in Amelia Island, Florida, defeating Henin in the final. A week after winning the tournament, she once again replaced Capriati as the world number 1, before losing it again to Capriati after 3 weeks. During those 3 weeks, Williams had made the final in Hamburg, defeating Hingis in the semi-finals before losing to Clijsters in the final. Seeded second at the French Open, Williams defeated former champion Salas to reach the semi-finals for the first time. There, she defeated Clarissa Fernandez. In the final, Williams met Serena for a second time in a Grand Slam final, with Serena winning. Venus once again replaced Capriati as the world number 1 as a result of reaching the final. As the top seed at Wimbledon, Williams defeated Henin in the semi-finals to make the final for the 3rd consecutive year. However, there, she lost to Serena. This result meant Serena replaced Venus as the world number 1. The Williams sisters teamed up to win the women's doubles title at the event, their 5th Grand Slam women's doubles title together. Williams won the titles in San Diego and New Haven for the 3rd consecutive year, defeating Davenport and Dockett to win the former and defeating Davenport in the final of the latter. At the U.S. Open, Williams defeated Salas in the quarter-finals in Amelie Mauresmo in 3 sets to make the final. Playing Serena for the 3rd consecutive Grand Slam final, Serena won once again. After that, Venus played just 4 more matches during the season. She reached the semi-finals at the year-ending Sonex Championships after defeating Salas in the quarter-finals, but she then was forced to retire against Clijsters due to injury. Williams finished the year ranked world number 2, having won 7 titles, her best showing in both respects of her career. 2003-06, Injuries and Losses. 2003, Australian Open Final and Injuries. Williams started 2003 by defeating 5th seed Justine Henin to make the final of the Australian Open for the first time. You do not have a valid verification file. Please contact our sales support team to obtain a valid license. In the final, however, she lost to sister Serena. This marked the first time in the Open era that the same 2 players had met in 4 consecutive Grand Slam finals. Venus and Serena teamed to win the women's doubles title at the event, their 6th Grand Slam title in women's doubles. In February, Williams won the Proximus Diamond Games in Antwerp, Belgium for the 2nd consecutive year, defeating Kim Clijsters in the final. However, shortly afterwards, she began to struggle with injury. She reached the final of the clay court JNS Cup in Warsaw, before being forced to retire against Amelie Mauresmo. She then suffered her earliest exit at a Grand Slam tournament in 2 years when she lost in the 4th round of the French Open to Vera Zvonareva. At Wimbledon, Williams was seeded 4th. Williams defeated former champion Lindsay Davenport in the quarter-finals and Kim Clijsters in the semi-finals to advance to her 4th consecutive Wimbledon final, where she lost again to sister Serena. Wimbledon was Williams's last event of the year as an abdominal injury that occurred during the Clijsters match prevented her from playing again. While she was recovering from the injury, her sister Yeden Price was murdered. Williams finished the year ranked world number 11. It was the first time in nearly 6 years that she had dropped out of the top 10. 2004, tough losses and further injuries. In 2004, Williams came back to the tour suffering inconsistent results. As the 3rd seed because of a protected ranking, she reached the 3rd round of the Australian Open, where she lost to Lisa Raymond. She then lost in the quarter-finals of her next 3 tournaments. Williams began to find her form at the beginning of the clay court season. At the Tiri Family Circle Cup in Charleston, South Carolina, Williams defeated Conchita Martinez in the final to win her first title in over a year and the 2nd Tiri title on clay of her career. She then won in Warsaw, defeating Svetlana Kuznetsova in the final, before reaching the final of the Tiri German Open in Berlin. She then withdrew from that match against Mauresmo due to injury. Going into the French Open, Williams had the best clay court record among the women and was among the favorites to win the title. However, after making the quarter-finals to extend her winning streak on the surface to 19 matches, she lost to eventual champion Anastasia Moskina. Despite her defeat, she re-entered the top 10. At Wimbledon, Williams lost a controversial second-round match to Croatian Carolina Shprem. The umpire of the match, Ted Watts, awarded Shprem an unearned point in the second set tie-break. Upon the conclusion of the match, he was relieved of his duties. This defeat marked the first time since 1997 that Williams had exited Wimbledon prior to the quarter-finals. After Wimbledon, Williams reached her fourth final of the year at the Bank of the West Classic in Stanford, California, where she was beaten by Lindsay Davenport for the first time since 2000. As the defending champion at the Athens Olympics, Williams lost in the third round to Mary Pierce. She then won three very close matches against Petra Mondula, Shikha Uberoi and Chanda Rubin to make the fourth round of the U.S. Open, where she lost to Davenport, the first time she had ever lost at the U.S. Open prior to the semi-finals. Williams completed the year by losing in the quarter-finals of three indoor tournaments in the fall, a period that included defeat in her first meeting with 17-year-old Wimbledon champion Maria Sharapova at the Zurich Open. Williams finished the year as world number 9 and did not qualify for the year-ending WTA Tour Championships. 2005, third Wimbledon title. In 2005, Williams started the year by losing in the fourth round of the Australian Open to Alicia Molik. She then reached the final in Antwerp, defeating Clijsters and Moskina en route. In the final, Williams was a set and a service breakup against Morsmo before eventually losing. In March, at the Nasdaq 100 Open in Miami, Williams defeated sister and Australian Open champion Serena in the quarter-finals, the first time she had defeated Serena since 2001. Venus went on to lose in the semi-finals to world number 3 Sharapova. In May, Williams won her first title in over a year at the clay courts at the Istanbul Cup, defeating Nicole Vadyshova in the final. However, at the French Open, she lost in the third round to 15-year-old Cezanne Karatacheva, who subsequently tested positive for steroids and was suspended. Williams was seeded 14th at Wimbledon. In the quarter-finals of the tournament, she defeated French Open runner-up Pierce in the second set tie-break, winning at 12-10 to make the semi-finals of a Grand Slam for the first time in 2 years. There, she defeated defending champion and second-seeded Maria Sharapova to make the Wimbledon final for the fifth time in 6 years. Playing top-seeded Davenport in the final, Williams saved a match point with a backhand winner en route to winning. This was Williams's third Wimbledon singles title, her fifth Grand Slam singles title overall and her first since 2001. It was the first time in 70 years that a player had won after being down match point during the women's final at Wimbledon. Citation needed. In addition, Williams was the lowest-ranked, world number 16, and lowest-seeded, 14th champion in tournament history. Citation needed. Williams returned to the top 10 following the victory. Following Wimbledon, Williams reached her fourth final of the year in Stanford, where she lost to Clijsters. At the U.S. Open, Williams achieved her second consecutive win over Serena in the fourth round, but then lost in the quarter-finals to eventual champion Kim Clijsters. Williams did not qualify for the year-ending Sony Ericsson Championships because of an injury sustained during the tournament in Beijing. She finished the year ranked world number 10. It was the first year since 2001 that she had finished the year ranked higher than Serena. Venus Williams prepares to serve during the 2006 JNS Cup in Warsaw. 2006, wrist injury and drop in the rankings. In 2006, Williams was upset in the first round of the Australian Open by Tsvetana Perenkova, which was her earliest loss ever at that tournament. After that loss, she did not play again for 3 months due to a wrist injury. She returned in late April on clay in Warsaw, where she defeated former world number 1 Martina Hingis in the second round, before losing to Svetlana Kuznetsova in the quarter-finals. Williams completed the clay court season by reaching the quarter-finals of the French Open, where she lost to Nicole Vadyshova. Williams was the defending champion and one of the favorites to win the singles title at Wimbledon. However, she lost in the third round to 26th-seeded Jelena Jankovic. After the loss, Williams said that she was having pain in her left wrist, although she admitted that the injury was not the cause of her loss. Williams did not play in the U.S. Open Series or the U.S. Open itself due to the wrist injury. In October, during her first tournament in almost 3 months, she injured her wrist at the tournament in Luxembourg and lost in the second round to qualifier Agnieszka Radwanska. Williams finished the season as world number 46, her lowest finish since she began to play on the WTA Tour full-time in 1997. It was the second consecutive year she finished higher than Serena, who finished the year at world number 95. 2007-10, returned to form and world number 2 ranking. 2007, fourth Wimbledon title. Williams withdrew from the 2007 Australian Open, the second consecutive Grand Slam that she had missed due to a recurring wrist injury. She returned in February at the Cellular South Cup in Memphis, USA, defeating top-seeded Sharapova in the final, her first singles title since her victory at Wimbledon in 2005. At the beginning of the clay court season, Williams reached the semi-finals of the Tiri Family Circle Cup in Charleston, South Carolina, where she lost to Jelena Jankovic on a third-set tie-break. She also lost to fourth-seed Jankovic in the third round of the French Open, her third consecutive loss to Jankovic. During her second-round win over Ashley Harklerode, Williams hit a 206 km/h, 128 mph, serve, which was the second fastest woman's serve ever recorded and the fastest ever recorded during a main draw match at the time. Venus competing in the World Tennis Team, WTT, Williams was ranked world number 31 going into Wimbledon and was seeded 23rd at the tournament due to her previous results at Wimbledon. Williams was a game away from defeat in her first-round match against Alla Kudryavtseva, and in her third-round match against Akiko Morigami she was 2 points away from defeat, but she eventually won both 7-5 in the third set. She then advanced to reach her sixth Wimbledon final, after beating Maria Sharapova, Svetlana Kuznetsova and Anna Ivanovic in straight sets en route, where she defeated 18th seed Marion Bartoli also in straight sets. Williams thus became only the fourth woman in the Open era to win Wimbledon at least 4 times, along with Billie Jean King, Martina Navratilova and Steffi Graf. She also became the lowest-seeded Wimbledon champion in history, breaking the record she herself set in 2005. Williams returned to the top 20 as a result of the win. At the U.S. Open, after setting a Grand Slam record 129 mph, 208 km/h, serve in the opening round, Williams advanced to her first Grand Slam semi-final outside of Wimbledon since 2003. However, she then lost to eventual champion Justine Henin. The tournament resulted in Williams's ranking moving up to world number 9. Williams then won her third title of the year at the Hansal Korea Open Tennis Championships in Seoul, South Korea, defeating Maria Kirilenko in the final, before then losing in the final of the Japan Open Tennis Championships in Tokyo to Virginie Razzano. Williams had earned enough points during the year to qualify for the year-ending WTA Tour Championships in Madrid. However, she withdrew because of continuing problems with anemia. Williams finished the year as world number 8 with 3 titles, her best performance in both respects since 2002, and a winning percentage of 83%. 2008, 5th Wimbledon title, Tour Championships title and Olympic gold in doubles. In 2008, as the 8th seed at the Australian Open, Williams reached the quarter-finals for the first time since 2003. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. However, she then lost to eventual runner-up Anna Ivanovic. Williams made her first semi-final of the year at the Bangalore Open in Bangalore, India, where she met sister Serena for the first time since 2005, with Serena winning despite Venus holding a match point in the third set tie-break. Williams missed 2 tournaments at the beginning of the clay court season due to undisclosed medical problems. At the French Open, Williams was seeded 8th but was eliminated by 26th-seeded Italian Flavia Pennetta in the third round. Williams was the defending champion and 7th-seeded player at Wimbledon. Without dropping a set, she reached her 7th Wimbledon singles final. She then won her 5th Wimbledon singles title, and 7th Grand Slam singles title overall, by beating sister Serena in straight sets. This was the first time since 2003 that Venus and Serena had played each other in a Grand Slam final, and was the first time since 2001 that Venus had defeated her in a Grand Slam final. Venus and Serena then teamed to win the women's doubles title, their first Grand Slam doubles title together since 2003. Williams lost in the quarter-finals of the Beijing Olympics to Li Na. She did, however, earn a gold medal along with Serena in women's doubles, their second gold medal as a team, having won together at the Sydney Olympics in 2000. At the US Open, Williams was playing some of her best tennis since dominating the circuit in 2003, however, she was defeated in 2 tie-breaks by Serena, the eventual tournament winner, in a close quarter-final match, after Venus had led 5-3 in both sets. Venus-Williams at the 2008 WTA Tour Championships. At the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart, Germany in October, Williams defeated a player ranked in the top 3 for the first time that season by defeating world number 3 Dinara Safina to reach her third semi-final of the year. There, she lost to Jankovic. A fortnight later, Williams won the Zurich Open, defeating Ivanovic in the semi-finals before defeating Panetta in the final to claim her second title of the year and secure a position in the year-ending 2008 WTA Tour Championships in Doha, Qatar. There, Williams defeated world number 2 Safina, world number 3 Serena and world number 5 Dementieva in the preliminary round-robin stage. In the semi-finals, Williams defeated world number 1 Jankovic before winning the year-ending tournament for the first time by defeating Vera Zvonareva in the final. She ended the year ranked 6th in the world with 3 titles and a winning percentage of 78%. 2009, 8th Wimbledon final and 4 consecutive Grand Slam doubles titles. As the 6th seed at the 2009 Australian Open, Williams lost in the second round to Carlos Suarez Navarro after holding a match point in the third set. However, she teamed up with Serena to win the women's doubles title at the event, their 8th Grand Slam doubles title together. Venus rebounded in singles play in February at the Premier 5, formerly Tier I, Dubai Tennis Championships, defeating defending champion and world number 4 Dementieva in the quarter-finals and world number 1 Serena in the semi-finals on a third-set tie-break. The latter win meant that Venus led the head-to-head in career matches with her sister for the first time since 2002. Venus went on to defeat Virginie Rotsano in the final. This win meant Williams was ranked in the top 5 for the first time since 2003, while it also marked her 40th professional singles title, only the 12th player in the Open era to achieve the feat. Williams won another title the following week at the Abierto Mexicano Telcel in Acapulco, Mexico, defeating Panetta in the final. This was her first title on clay since 2005. On European clay, Williams reached the semi-finals in Rome before losing to world number 1 Safina. This run meant Williams was ranked in the top 3 for the first time since 2003. Seeded third at the French Open, Williams lost to Agnes Chazaveh in the third round, the third consecutive year she had exited at that stage. Williams was seeded third at Wimbledon. She advanced to her 8th Wimbledon final, at which point she had won 36 straight sets, held since Wimbledon 2007. In the final, however, she lost the first set tie-break, and from then on lost in 2 sets to sister Serena. The Williams sisters teamed up to win the doubles title at the tournament for the 4th time. In Stanford, Williams defeated Maria Sharapova and Elena Dementieva to advance to the finals, where she would lose to Marion Bartoli. Teaming with her sister, she played doubles and won the title, defeating Monica Niculescu and Young Jan Chan. Venus lost to the eventual champion, Kim Clijsters, at the U.S. Open. At the 2009 U.S. Open, as the third seed, Williams made it to the 4th round before losing to Kim Clijsters in 3 sets. Venus then teamed up with Serena to play doubles at the Open, where they won the title over defending champions and world number 1 in doubles, Cara Black and Liesl Huber, claiming their 3rd Grand Slam doubles title in 2009. Williams's last tournament in 2009 was the year-ending Sony Ericsson Championships, where she was the defending champion in singles. She was in the maroon group, which includes her sister Serena, along with Elena Dementieva and Svetlana Kuznetsova. She lost her first match against Dementieva, and her second match against Serena, both in straight sets, after taking the first set. In her third and final RR match, Williams defeated Svetlana Kuznetsova. Because of Dementeva's loss to Kuznetsova in their round-robin match, Venus advanced to the semi-final of the championships. In her semi-final match, she defeated Jelena Jankovic of Serbia to advance to her second consecutive final in the tournament. In the final, she lost to her sister Serena. In doubles, Venus teamed with Serena as the second seeds. However, they lost to Nerea Lagastera-Vives and Maria José Martinez-Sanchez in the semi-final. Their doubles record at the end of the year stood at 24-2. Venus finished 2009 ranked world number 6 in singles, with a winning percentage of 70%, and world number 3 in doubles with Serena, in spite of them playing only 6 events together that year. 2010, world number 2 singles ranking in world number 1 doubles ranking, Williams played at the Australian Open as the 6th seed. She defeated 17th-seeded Francesca Schiavone in the 4th round. She was 2 points from defeating 16th-seeded Lena in the quarter-finals before losing in 3 sets. In doubles, she teamed with her sister Serena to successfully defend their title, defeating the top-ranked team of Cara Black and Liesl Huber in the final. She went onto the clay at the Ibero Mexico Telcel in Acapulco, where she was the defending champion. She reached the semi-finals after recovering from a 1-5 third-set deficit to Laura Pioustio in the quarter-finals. In the final, she defeated first-time finalist Polona Harkov from Slovenia. This was her 43rd career title, the most among active female players. Her next tournament was the premier mandatory Sony Ericsson Open in Key Biscayne, where she was seeded third. She defeated world number 9 Agnieszka Radwanska in the quarter-finals and world number 13 Marion Bartoli in the semi-finals to reach her third straight WTA Tour final and fourth Sony Ericsson Open final. She was defeated by Kim Clijsters in the final in just 58 minutes, ending her 15-match winning streak. By reaching the final, her ranking improved to world number 4 and she crossed the $26 million mark in career prize money, the only player besides Serena to do so. The knee injury that hampered her during the final of the Sony Ericsson Open forced her to skip the Fed Cup tie against Russia and the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart. Williams returned to the tour at the Premier 5 Internazionale Biennale d'Italia in Rome. She suffered the worst defeat of her career in the quarter-finals, losing to world number 4 Jelena Jankovic 6-0, 6-1. Despite this loss, Williams's ranking improved to world number 3 on May 10. Williams at the 2010 Madrid Open, her next tournament was the Madrid Open, a premier mandatory tournament. She lost to Aravan Razai in the final. In doubles, she teamed with Serena to win the title. On May 17, her ranking improved to world number 2, behind only Serena. This was the 4th time that the Williams sisters have occupied the top 2 spots, and the first time since May 2003. Her next tournament was the French Open, where she played both singles and doubles despite her knee injury. Seeded second in singles, she advanced past the third round at this tournament for the first time since 2006 before losing to Nadia Petrova in the round of 16. She also played doubles with Serena as the top seeds. Their defeat of Huber and Anabel Medina Garrigues in the semi-finals increased their doubles ranking to world number 1. They then defeated 12th-seeded Kveta Peschke and Katerina Srebotnik in the final to win their 4th consecutive Grand Slam women's doubles title. By virtue of reaching the number 1 ranking in doubles on June 7, 2010, Venus and Serena became just the 6th and 7th women to reach the number 1 ranking in both singles and doubles, following in the footsteps of Martina Navratilova, Arancha Sanchez Vicario, Martina Hingis, Lindsay Davenport, and Kim Clijsters. Her next tournament was the Wimbledon Championships, where she had reached the final the previous 3 years. Despite her knee injury, she made it to the quarter-finals, where she lost to Tsvetlana Pironkova. Pironkova was ranked 82nd in the world and had never gone past the second round of a Grand Slam event. As a result, Williams dropped to number 4 in the world. She was the defending champion in doubles with her sister Serena, having won the tournament in the previous 2 years. However, they lost this time in the quarter-finals to Elena Vesnina and Vera Zvonareva. Williams then missed all tournaments in the U.S. Open Series because of a left knee injury but still participated at the U.S. Open as the third seed. She won 3 matches to move into the fourth round. Williams became one of only 2 women in 2010, along with Caroline Wozniacki, to reach at least the fourth round at all 4 Grand Slam singles tournaments. This TTS demo is for testing and evaluation purposes only. Any unauthorized commercial use is prohibited. Williams then defeated Pierre and French Open champion Schiavone en route to her 8th U.S. Open semi-final, against defending champion Clijsters. Williams won the first set of their match and recovered from 5-2 down in the second set but ultimately double-faulted on a key point near the end of the match and lost in 3 sets. Because of Serena's withdrawal from the U.S. Open, Venus did not participate at the doubles event where she was the defending champion. The recovery of her left knee took longer than expected and it forced her to miss the rest of 2010, including the year-ending Sony Ericsson Championships and Fed Cup final. Williams ended the year ranked 5th in singles, the first time she ended a year in the top 5 since 2002, while playing only 9 tournaments. She finished the year ranked 11th in doubles. 2011-13, Injuries and Illness. 2011, Sjogren's syndrome diagnosis. Williams during her first-round match at the U.S. Open, Williams began the year at the final edition of Hong Kong Tennis Classic exhibition event. She lost both her singles matches against Vera Zvonareva and Li Na, but she managed to help Team America to win the silver group. She fourth at the Australian Open. Venus retired in the second game of her third-round match against Andrea Petkovic after sustaining a hip muscle injury in her second round. This was Williams's first retirement during a match in a Grand Slam tournament since 1994 and thus ended her record of most Grand Slam matches without ever retiring, with 250 consecutive matches. This was also her first retirement from a match since LA Women's Tennis Championships in Los Angeles in 2004, ending her 294 consecutive matches without retiring. The injury forced Williams to pull out of the Fed Cup quarter-final against Belgium, the Dubai Tennis Championships, and the Mexican Open, where she was the 2-time defending champion in both tournaments. She subsequently withdrew from the Miami Open, causing her ranking to drop to number 15. She also missed the clay court season, which caused her ranking to drop to number 29. Her absence from the French Open marked the first Grand Slam tournament since the 2003 U.S. Open where neither of the Williams sisters were competing. Williams then made her first appearance since the Australian Open in Eastbourne. Unseeded, she lost for the first time in 11 meetings to Daniela Hantuchova in the quarter-finals. She was seeded 23rd at the 2011 Wimbledon Championships. She played for nearly 3 hours in her second-round match against Japanese veteran Kimiko Date-Krum, winning in 3 tough sets. She then defeated Spaniard Maria José Martínez Sánchez in the third round, but was defeated by Bulgarian 32nd seed Svetlana Perenkova in the fourth round. Originally scheduled to participate in the 2011 Rogers Cup in Toronto and the 2011 Western and Southern Open in Cincinnati, Williams withdrew due to viral illness. Her next scheduled tournament was the U.S. Open. Unseeded at the U.S. Open, Williams defeated Vesna Dolence in the first round. She was scheduled to meet 22nd seed Sabine Lisicki in the second round, but withdrew before the match began after being diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome, an autoimmune disease which causes fatigue and muscle and joint pain. This was the first time in her career that she did not reach the quarterfinals or better in any of the Grand Slam tournaments in a season. As a result, her ranking dropped to 105. Williams did not play for the rest of the year at a competitive level. She appeared in 3 exhibitions tournaments in November and early December. She played against sister Serena in Colombia, which she won in straight sets. The week later, the sisters appeared in Milan, Italy to play exhibition against Italian duo Francesca Schiavone and Flavia Pennetta. Williams lost both her singles tie-break matches but won the doubles pairing with her sister. Williams played her third exhibition tournament in Barbados where she lost to Victoria Azarenka. She ended the year ranked world number 102. This was her first year-end finish ranked outside of the world top 50 since 1997. 2012, comeback and Olympic gold record. Williams was scheduled to play in Auckland in preparation for the Australian Open, but withdrew from both tournaments due to health problems, announcing that she would return to the WTA Tour in February. This dropped her ranking to world number 135. In February, Williams returned to competition in the doubles match of the Fed Cup World Group 2 tie between USA and Belarus. Playing with Liezel Huber, she won the dead rubber in straight sets. Williams was granted wildcards to participate in the Miami and Charleston tournaments. In the first round of Miami, her first singles match since the 2011 U.S. Open, Williams defeated Japanese veteran Kimiko Datecrim in straight sets. In the second round, she defeated world number 3 Petra Kvitova, her first top-3 victory since beating Svetlana Kuznetsova in 2009. In the third round, she saved a match point and defeated Alexandra Wozniak in a 3-set tiebreaker that ended a nearly 3-hour match. In the round of 16, she bested world number 15 Ana Ivanovic in 3 sets to reach the quarter-finals, where she lost to the eventual champion, Agnieszka Radwanska in straight sets. Her run improved her ranking to number 87. A week later in Charleston, she reached her second consecutive quarter-final, where she lost in 3 sets to Samantha Stosur. Williams at the 2012 French Open. Williams was granted wildcards to participate in Madrid and Rome. In Madrid, she lost in the second round to Angelique Kerber, but still improved her world ranking to number 63. A week later in Rome, she reached her third quarter-final of the 4 tournaments she had participated in with a straight-sets victory against Samantha Stosur in the third round. She lost in the quarter-finals in straight sets to the world number 2, defending and eventual champion Maria Sharapova. Her appearance in Rome increased her ranking to world number 52, placing her as the third-ranked American. She lost in the second round of the French Open to Agnieszka Radwanska in straight sets. At Wimbledon, Venus was unseeded for the first time since 1997. She lost to Elena Vesnina in the first round in straight sets. This was the first time Venus lost in the first round of a Grand Slam since the 2006 Australian Open, and her first opening round loss at Wimbledon since her debut in 1997. Williams fared better in her return to doubles competition where she played alongside her sister, Serena. In just the pair's first tournament since 2010 Wimbledon, the unseeded sisters advanced to the final with victories over fourth seeds Maria Kirilenko and Nadia Petrova in the second round and top seeds Liezel Huber and Lisa Raymond in the semi-finals. The Williams sisters claimed their 5th Wimbledon doubles title after defeating 6th seeds Andrea Hlivakova and Lucy Hrdecka in straight sets in the final. On the same day Serena won her 5th Wimbledon singles title. Williams's next stop was the 2012 Summer Olympics Games, which was held at the All England Club, Wimbledon. She entered the women's singles and women's doubles events, partnering with sister Serena in doubles. In singles, Williams defeated Sara Errani and Alexandra Wozniak in convincing fashion to reach the third round where she faced Angelique Kerber. She lost to Kerber in 2 tiebreaks despite having 3 set points and leading 5-1 in the tiebreak in the first set. In doubles, the unseeded Williams sisters advanced to the final, which was a repeat of their final at Wimbledon against Hlivakova and Hrdecka. The sisters won their third gold medal in doubles after defeating the Czech pair in straight sets. With the win, and Serena's win in the singles event, the Williams sisters claimed the most Olympic gold medals than any other tennis player, male or female. Next, Williams played at Cincinnati where she received a singles wildcard entry. She defeated her first 2 opponents, Maria Kirilenko and Schnell Scheepers, in 3 tight sets before crushing 8th seed Sara Errani in the third round. In the quarter-final, she defeated her second top 10 opponent in a row Samantha Stosur in 3 sets to advance to her first semi-final since the 2010 U.S. Open. In the semi-final Williams played through a back injury, eventually losing in 3 sets to Li Na in a match where her average first serve was between 80 to 90 miles per hour. Her semi-final run brought her ranking back within the top 50 for the first time in almost a year. At the U.S. Open Williams lost in a second-round match against Angelique Kerber in 3 sets, despite having a 4-2 lead in the third set. Williams won her 44th WTA career title and her first title in over 2.5 years at the 2012 BGL Luxembourg Open, where she defeated Monica Niculescu in straight sets. Williams also qualified for the WTA Tournament of Champions in Sofia, but withdrew as the tournament clashed with her and Serena's Breaking the Mold tour in Africa. With her title in Luxembourg, her ranking rose to number 24. She ended the year with this ranking. 2013, back injury. At the 2013 Hopman Cup, and playing for USA, with John Isner, the first rubber was against South Africa. Williams beat Snell Scheepers and, with John Isner, they comfortably defeated the South African pair Snell Scheepers and Kevin Anderson. In USA's second rubber against France, she won both her singles and in mixed doubles defeated Jo-Wilfried Tsonga and Mathilde Johansson. Next she faced Anabel Medina Garrigues of Spain and won in 2 sets. From there Williams went on to the Australian Open, seeded 25, after missing it the previous year due to injury. She beat Galina Voskoboeva and Elise Cornet before losing to the second seed, Maria Sharapova. Her next tournament was Brasil Tennis Cup. She participated in the tournament as the first seed. She defeated Mirjana Lucic Baroni in the first round, Garbin Muguruza in the second round and Magdalena Rybarikova during the quarter-finals. Reaching her first semi-final of the year, she was then defeated by Olga Pavkova in 3 sets. Thank you for using voice text. You need to contact our sales support team to obtain a valid verification file. This tournament allowed Williams to strengthen her position in the top 20. She retired from the 2013 Sony Open Tennis in the 3rd round due to a lower back injury. Williams stretches for a volley at the 2013 U.S. Open. 1 week after Miami, Williams participated in Charleston as the 5th seed. She reached the semi-finals, after playing both her 3rd round and quarter-finals matches on the same day, where she lost to her sister, Serena, in 2 sets in the sisters' first meeting since the 2009 WTA Tour Championships. A few weeks later she participated in Fed Cup, in a tie between the United States and Sweden. After Sloane Stephens lost the opening match, Williams stepped into her spot, winning a match against Johanna Larsson, after converting on her 8th match point. This was the first time in Williams's career that she clinched the winning match in a Fed Cup tie, leading the United States to a 3-2 victory over Sweden. Williams's next event was the Mutual Madrid Open, where she withdrew just before playing her first round match. Her next tournament was the Italian Open in Rome, where she lost in the first round to Laura Robson. Williams then played at the 2013 French Open, where she lost to Ursula Radwanska in the first round. She was also entered in doubles with her sister Serena but pulled out just before their first round match. Venus pulled out of the 2013 Wimbledon Championships due to a back injury. It was the first time she has missed Wimbledon in her career. At the Rogers Cup, she lost in the first round to 13th seed Kirsten Flipkens in 3 sets. At the 2013 Western and Southern Open, she defeated qualifier Jana Sapilova in straight sets, before losing in the second round to Elena Vesnina in 3 sets. Her next tournament was the 2013 U.S. Open. She pulled an upset in the first round by defeating 12th seed Kirsten Flipkens in a rematch of the Rogers Cup first round. She was defeated by Zhang Ji in 3 sets. She entered the doubles with Serena Williams. They beat Carla Suarez Navarro and Silvia Soler Espinosa in the first round. In the second round, the duo beat the 7th-seeded team of Abigail Spears and Raquel Cops-Jones, and defeated the 11th-seeded team of Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova and Lucy Safarova in the third round. In the quarter-finals, they defeated the first-seeded team of Sara Errani and Roberta Vinci in a rematch of the Australian Open quarter-finals. Their run ended in the semi-finals against the 5th-seeded team and eventual champions Lucy Hrdecka and Andrea Hlivakova. Her next tournament was the Torrey Pan-Pacific Open. She defeated Mona Barthel in the first round, and upset the first-seeded and world number 2 Victoria Azarenka in the second round. In the third round, she came back from a set down to beat the 13th seed Simona Halep in 3 sets to make it to the quarter-finals of the Premier 5 event. In the quarter-finals she defeated Canadian Eugenie Bouchard in 3 sets but fell in the semi-finals to Petra Kvitova in another 3-set match. Williams subsequently played at the 2013 China Open in Beijing, where she played singles and doubles. Venus lost her second-round match in singles, losing to Sabine Lisicki, and she also lost her first-round match in doubles despite having 2 match points. Williams's last tournament of the season was the 2013 Kremlin Cup in Moscow, but she withdrew due to injury, bringing an end to her 2013 season. 2014 present, resurgence and first Grand Slam finals since 2009. 2014, ending title drought. Williams started her official tennis season as world number 47 at the 2014 ASB Classic in Auckland, where she finished runner-up to Ana Ivanovic. She next participated, unseeded, at the 2014 Australian Open, where she lost in the first round to world number 23 Ekaterina Makarova in 3 sets. Moving on to Doha, Williams lost to world number 6 Petra Kvitova in the second round at the 2014 Qatar Total Open after failing to put away match point in the third set tie-break. Williams then entered the Dubai Tennis Championships, where she defeated 5 top 40 players to win her biggest title since the Mutual Madrid Open in 2010 and, at 33 years and 8 months of age, became the 7th oldest woman to win a WTA singles title. En route, she avenged her loss to Ana Ivanovic in Auckland 6-2, 6-1 and her sister Serena's loss to Elise Cornet in the semi-finals, then won the title match the 6-3, 6-0, keeping her head-to-head record perfect against Caroline Wozniacki. Williams then competed in Miami at the 2014 Sony Open Tennis and in Charleston at the 2014 Family Circle Cup, where she lost to Dominika Cibulkova on hard and Eugenie Bouchard on clay, respectively, both in the round of 16 and both in 3 sets. At the 2014 Internazionale Biennale d'Italia, Williams failed to force 3 sets in a loss for the first time that year, falling 4-6, 2-6 to Carla Suarez Navarro. At the 2014 French Open, Williams was upset by world number 56 Anna Karolina Schmidlova in 3 sets. Williams then lost in the third round of the 2014 Wimbledon Championships, 7-5, 6-7, 5-7 to eventual champion Petra Kvitova in the classic and much praised encounter that saw 34 holds of serve and only 2 breaks. Williams was the only player to take a set against Kvitova in the tournament. Williams played her first tournament of the 2014 U.S. Open Series at the 2014 Bank of the West Classic, where she is a 2-time former champion. In the second round, she scored her first top 10 victory of the year and improved her head-to-head record against Victoria Azarenka to 4-0. In the quarter-finals, Williams lost to world number 18 Andrea Petkovic in 3 sets. At the 2014 Rogers Cup, Williams defeated world number 24 Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova in 3 sets, scoring her first victory at that tournament on her 5th attempt. She defeated world number 7 Angelique Kerber in the third round in a 3-set thriller described by one of the commentators as quite simply one of the matches of the 2014 season so far on the WTA. Williams produced yet another upset in 3 sets against Carla Suarez Navarro to advance to the semi-finals, where she defeated younger sister and world number 1 Serena Williams in the pair's 25th meeting. It was her 14th victory over a reigning world number 1 and her first since the 2009 Wimbledon Championships, when she defeated Dinara Safina 6-1, 6-0 in the semi-finals. It was also the first time since 2009 that Williams had beaten Serena. She lost the championship match 4-6, 2-6 to world number 5 Agnieszka Radwanska. At her final tournament before the 2014 U.S. Open, Williams lost in a tight 3-setter to world number 17 Lucy Shafarova in the first round at the 2014 Western and Southern Open. At the U.S. Open, Williams made it to the third round for the first time since 2010 and was 2 points away, multiple times, from moving into the round of 16 before ultimately going down to 13th-seeded Sara Urani for the first time in 4 meetings. Williams's next tournament was at the 2014 Coupe Banque Nationale in Quebec, where she received a wild card as the number 1 seed. She advanced to the quarter-finals in straight-set first and second round victories and is set to play Czech player Lucy Hrdecka. She defeated Hrdecka in a 2-hour, 13-minute match, winning 6-3, 4-6, 7-6, 3. In the semi-final, Williams beat fellow countrywoman Shelby Rogers in straight sets to progress to her fourth final of the year, where she lost to a resurgent Mirjana Lusic-Baroni in straight sets. Williams then played at the 2014 Wuhan Open, where she lost in the first round to Caroline Garcia despite having held a match point. Her final tournament of the year was at the 2014 China Open, where she won her first two matches before withdrawing before the third round. Williams ended the year ranked world number 19 in singles, the first finish since 2010 inside the top 20. Williams joined the Bangalore Raptors team in 2014 for the first edition of Champions Tennis League India. 2015, improvement at the Grand Slams and re-entering the top 10, Venus started off her season at the 2015 ASB Classic, where she won her 46th career singles title by defeating Caroline Wozniacki in 3 sets in the final. Then, at the Australian Open, Venus made it to the quarter-finals at a Grand Slam for the first time since the 2010 US Open. She defeated Camila Giorgi in the third round, having to recover from 4-6, 2-4 and 0-40 down to reach the second week of a Grand Slam tournament for the first time since the 2011 Wimbledon Championships, and then overturned a 3-match losing streak to Agnieszka Radwanska before losing to Madison Keys after being up a break in the deciding set. Venus had her 16-match winning streak at the Dubai Tennis Championships ended by Lucy Shafarova in the third round. Her next tournament was at the Qatar Total Open, where she saved a match point in a heated encounter versus Barbora Zalivova-Strakova in the second round before defeating Agnieszka Radwanska for a second time in 2015 to advance to the semi-finals. She ended up losing in 3 sets to Victoria Azarenka. Venus competed at the Miami Open, where she won against Samantha Stosur in the third round and Caroline Wozniacki in the fourth round, scoring her 4th top 10 win of the season and improving her head-to-head record against Wozniacki to a perfect 7-0. In the quarter-finals, she was defeated by Carlos Suarez Navarro in 3 sets. Williams began her clay court season at the Madrid Open, where she lost in the first round to Victoria Azarenka in straight sets. She made it to the third round of the Italian Open before losing to Simona Halep. Williams failed to win her opening match at the 2015 French Open, where she lost in straight sets to American Sloane Stephens. She did not attend her mandatory post-match press conference and was subsequently fined $3,000. 52. Williams then played at Wimbledon, winning her first 3 rounds in straight sets. She then lost to her sister, Serena, in the fourth round in straight sets, 4-6 3-6. Williams then played at the Istanbul Cup, where she lost in the first round to qualifier Katerina Bondarenko. Venus began her US Open series at the Rogers Cup, where she was a finalist last year. She lost in the first round, 6-0, 6-3 to Sabine Lisicki. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. Her loss pushed her outside of the top 20. Her next tournament was at the Western and Southern Open in Cincinnati. She made it to the second round and was set to play Anna Ivanovic, before she withdrew due to a virus. She was seeded 23rd for the US Open and played Monica Puig in the first round. She led 6-4, 5-3 and held 3 match points, but lost a second set. She managed to win the match 6-4, 6-7, 7-9, 6-3. In the second round, she overcame 2 costly double faults in the second set to defeat fellow American Irina Falconi 6-3, 6-7, 2-7, 6-2. She defeated 12th seed Belinda Bencic and qualifier Annette Kontaveit in straight sets in the third and fourth rounds, respectively. Venus played her sister, Serena, in the quarter-finals in their 5th meeting at the US Open and their 27th meeting overall. Venus lost the match in 3 sets, 2-6 6-1 3-6. Williams scored her 5th top 10 win of the season by defeating world number 7 Agnieszka Radwanska in the first round of the Wuhan Open. She then beat qualifier Julia Gorges in the second round for her 700th career win, becoming only the 9th woman in the Open era to achieve this feat. She landed another top 10 victory by winning against world number 10 Carlos Suarez Navarro in the third round. Williams defeated both Johanna Konta and Roberta Vinci, saving match point, in 3 sets to move into the championship match where she won her biggest title in more than 5 years when her opponent, world number 8 Garbiñe Muguruza, retired while trailing a set in a double break. The next week Williams lost to Anna Ivanovic in the second round of the China Open. She made it to the semi-finals of the Hong Kong Open where she lost in a tight 2-setter to eventual champion Jelena Jankovic. With her results throughout the season, Williams became an alternate for the WTA Finals in Singapore. Additionally, she qualified for the WTA Elite Trophy in Zhuhai where she is the number 1 seed. She defeated Madison Keys in her first round-robin match in 3 sets, 3-6, 7-6, 7-5, 6-1. In her second round-robin match she defeated wildcard Zhang Sisai 4-6, 6-1, 6-1 to advance to the semi-finals, where she defeated Roberta Vinci for a 5th consecutive time. Williams captured the first WTA Elite Trophy, her 3rd WTA title of the season and 48th title of her career by defeating Karolina Pliskova, 7-5, 7-6, 8-6, in the final. She re-entered the top 10 for the first time since 2011 and ended the year at world number 7 in the WTA rankings. Williams was the 10th most popular player of the year according to the WTA's website and received the WTA Comeback Player of the Year award. 2016, Wimbledon semi-final, highest ranking since 2011 and record Olympic medal tally. Venus began 2016 by playing at the World Tennis Thailand Championship, an exhibition event in Thailand, where she lost to Sara Errani and Angelique Kerber. She then entered the ASB Classic, where she was the number 1 seed and defending champion, and lost in the first round to 18-year-old Daria Kasatkina. This was also Williams's first tournament since the 2011 Australian Open as a top 10 player. At the Australian Open, Williams, seeded 8th, lost to Johanna Konta in the first round. Afterwards, she helped the USA Fed Cup team to a 4-0 victory over Poland, winning both of her singles matches. Williams's next tournament was at the Taiwan Open, where she was the number 1 seed. She defeated Masaki Doi in the final, earning her 49th career title. Venus returned to Indian Wells for the first time in 15 years after boycotting the tournament in 2001, but lost in the second round to Kurumi Nara. The following week, she was knocked out on the second round of the Miami Open by qualifier Elena Vesnina. Both results marked her worst exits at Indian Wells and Miami in her 23-year career. She began the clay court season with a win over Alison Riske at the Charleston Open, before losing to Yulia Putintseva in the third round in 3 tight sets. Williams was scheduled to begin her clay court season at the Madrid Open but withdrew due to a hamstring injury. The following week, she lost in the second round in Rome. Seeded 9th at the French Open, Williams won her first 2 rounds in straight sets to set up a third-round clash with Elise Cornet, whom she defeated in 3 sets to reach the 4th round for the first time since 2010. She recorded the 200th loss of her career against 8th-seeded Timea Beksinskaya, who won in straight sets. However, her result pushed her back into the top 10 for the first time since her loss at the Australian Open. She also won her first Grand Slam doubles match with sister Serena since the 2014 US Open. Williams at the 2016 Wimbledon Championships. At the Wimbledon Championships, Venus reached the third round of the championships where she overcame the 29th seed, Daria Kasatkina, in a 2-hour, 42-minute marathon. She defeated 12th seed Carla Suarez Navarro in the 4th round, and now leads 4-3 in their head-to-head meetings. Venus advanced to the quarter-finals for the first time in 6 years, where she defeated Yaroslava Shvedova. In her first Grand Slam semi-final since the 2010 US Open and her first Wimbledon semi-final since 2009, she lost to 4th seed Angelique Kerber in straight sets. In the doubles tournament, Venus and Serena advanced to their first Grand Slam doubles final since 2012. They then won their 14th major title together and 6th at Wimbledon. Venus began her US Open series at the Stanford Classic where she was the number 1 seed. She defeated Magda Linette in the second round and compatriots Catherine Bellis and Alison Riske in the quarter-finals and semi-finals respectively to reach her 8th final in Stanford. She lost to Johanna Konta, 5-7, 7-5, 2-6. By virtue of her result, Venus ascended to number 6 in the rankings, her highest position since being diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome in 2011. Venus then entered the Rogers Cup. Having received a bye in the first round, Venus won her second-round match against Barbora Strykova in straight sets. She fell to Madison Keys in the third round in 3 sets. Williams failed to medal in her singles and doubles events at the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio, falling in the first round in both events, marking her worst exits of her Olympic career. She entered the mixed doubles event with Rogier Ram, defeating the Netherlands in the first round after saving match point. The pair then defeated Italy in the quarter-finals and India in the semi-finals to set up a clash with the United States team of Bethany Mattek-Sands and Jack Sock in the gold medal match. The duo lost to Mattek-Sands and Sock 7-6, 7-3, 1-6, by winning a silver medal. Venus became the only female player, besides Kathleen McCain-Godfrey, to win a medal in all 3 events, singles, doubles and mixed. Her 5 medals mean she now shares the record for most Olympic medals won in tennis with Godfrey. At the U.S. Open, Venus broke the record for the most Grand Slam appearances, surpassing Amy Frazier's record of 71. This is also the first time that she's been seeded in the top 10 at all 4 Grand Slam tournaments this year, having last achieved this in 2010. She won her first 3-round matches respectively against Katerina Kozlova, Julia Gorges and the 26th seed Laura Siegemund. She lost in the 4th round to 10th seed Karolina Pliskova after failing to convert match point. In September 2016, in response to WADA database leak, Williams confirmed the usage of banned substances classified by WADA as therapeutic use exemptions, TUs, stating, "The applications for TUs under the tennis anti-doping program require a strict process for approval which I have adhered to when serious medical conditions have occurred." Venus failed to defend her title in Wuhan, falling in the 3rd round to 9th seed Svetlana Kuznetsova. This pushed her outside of the top 10 for a second time this year. The following week she was bundled out of the China Open in the first round by world number 223 Peng Shuai. Venus qualified for the WTA Elite Trophy where she was the defending champion, however she decided not to participate. She finished the year ranked number 17 in the world. 2017, Australian Open, Wimbledon and WTA Finals finalist and returned to the top 5, Williams began her 2017 season at the ASB Classic, winning her opening match against local wildcard Jade Lewis before withdrawing due to a right arm pain. Seeded 13th at the Australian Open, Venus defeated Katerina Kozlova, qualifier Stephanie Vogel, Duan Yinggang and qualifier Mona Barthel in the opening 4 rounds respectively in straight sets to advance to the quarter-finals. She defeated 24th seed Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova for her 50th win at the Australian Open, the first time Williams won a quarter-final match in Melbourne since defeating Daniela Hantuchova in 2003. Coming back from a set-down in her semi-final match, Williams defeated rising American star Coco Vanoa 6-7, 3-7, 6-2, 6-3 to advance to her first Grand Slam final since Wimbledon 2009 and her first Australian Open final since 2003. In doing so, she set the Open-era record for the longest span, 20 years, between Grand Slam singles final appearances, having first reached a Grand Slam singles final at the 1997 U.S. Open. In a closely fought final, she lost 6-4, 6-4 to her younger sister Serena Williams, who made history by winning her 23rd Grand Slam singles title, surpassing the mark set by Steffi Graf. The following week, Venus competed in the St. Petersburg Ladies' Trophy, but lost in the second round to eventual champion Kristina Mladenovic. At the Indian Wells Masters, Venus came back from 1-6, 1-4 down and saved 3 match points in the second round to defeat Jelena Jankovic, tying their head-to-head record at 7-all. This was her first win at Indian Wells since 2001. She defeated Lucy Safarova and qualifier Peng Shuai in the 3rd and 4th rounds respectively, avenging her previous losses to both players. She lost to the eventual champion, Elena Vesnina, in the quarter-finals. The following week, Venus scored her first top 10 win since 2015, against Svetlana Kuznetsova in the fourth round of the Miami Open. She defeated world number 1 Angelique Kerber in the quarterfinals, becoming the oldest player to be the current world number 1. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. Please contact our sales support team in order to obtain a valid license for commercial use. She lost for a third consecutive time to eventual champion Johanna Konta in straight sets in her first semi-final in Miami since 2010. This marked her fourth consecutive loss to eventual champions. The following week, after receiving a bye, Venus lost to eventual semi-finalist Laura Siegemund in the Volvo Car Open. Having saved match point in the second set, Venus forced 2 match points in the third set, but Siegemund saved both. After the match, Venus said, "This could be the best match she'll ever play in her life. I basically won the match but still lost." Venus withdrew from the Madrid Open after an injury to her right arm. She made her European clay court debut at the Italian Open where she defeated Yaroslava Shvedova and Lesia Tsarenko in straight sets. She defeated world number 6 Johanna Konta in the third round, but lost in her first quarter-final in Rome since 2012 to Garbiñe Muguruza in 3 sets. During this match, Williams hit a reactionary lob-off and attacking forehand that was voted WTA Shot of the Month. Williams defeated Qiang Wang, Karumi Nara and Elise Mertens in the first 3 rounds of the French Open before again losing to Baxinskaya in the fourth round, this time in 3 sets. Williams entered Wimbledon as the number 10 seed. She defeated Elise Mertens, Qiang Wang, Naomi Osaka and Annika Nu to reach the quarter-finals for the 13th time in her career, where she defeated the 2017 French Open champion Jelena Ostapenko in straight sets. This was also her 100th career match at Wimbledon. She advanced to her 9th Wimbledon final by defeating Johanna Konta in straight sets in the semi-finals. This marked her 87th win at Wimbledon, the third most on the all-time list. This also marked the first season since 2003 that Williams reached 2 Slam finals. Williams lost the final in straight sets to Garbiñe Muguruza. She gained the world number 9 ranking by reaching the final, her second appearance in the top 10 in 2017. She had briefly returned to the top 10 in 2017 by virtue of beating Angelique Kerber in Miami. Williams began her play in the U.S. Open Series at the Canadian Open. She defeated qualifier Irina Camelia Bagu in 3 sets and Katerina Siniakova in straight sets before losing to 5th seed and eventual champion Elena Svitolina in the third round. The next week Williams competed in the Cincinnati Masters tournament. She defeated Alison Riske in the first round before losing to Ashley Barty in the second round. Barty was the first person to have defeated Williams and failed to reach at least the semi-finals of the event in which they had defeated her in 2017. At the 2017 U.S. Open, Williams defeated Victoria Kumova, Ocean Dodin, and Maria Sakkari to reach the fourth round. Williams reached the second week of all Grand Slams in a single season for the first time since 2010, and has now reached the second week of 7 consecutive Grand Slams, the longest current streak among WTA players. In the fourth round, Williams beat Carla Suarez Navarro in 3 sets to reach her 12th U.S. Open quarter-final, where she defeated Petra Kvitova in the third set tie-break during the 2-hour, 35-minute match. She also guaranteed her return to the top 5 in the WTA rankings at the conclusion of the tournament for the first time since January 2011. Williams then lost in 3 sets to fellow American Sloane Stephens in her first U.S. Open semi-final since 2010. However, the showing placed her back in the top 5 for the first time in years. On September 26, Williams officially qualified for the WTA Finals for the first time since 2010. In her first tournament after the U.S. Open, Williams defeated Risa Ozaki in the first round of the Hong Kong Open, before falling to Naomi Osaka. At the 2017 WTA Finals, Williams was placed in the Y group with Karolina Pliskova, Garbiñe Muguruza and Jelena Ostapenko. After losing her first match to Pliskova in straight sets, Williams defeated Ostapenko in a marathon match lasting almost 3.5 hours, and finished round-robin play by beating Muguruza in straight sets to progress to the semi-finals. thus avenging her loss to the Spaniard in the Wimbledon final. As the second seed from the white Group O, Williams would play rising star and 8th seed Caroline Garcia, who won the red group. Venus would lose the first set in a tie-break but handily won the next 2 sets to advance to her first final at the year-end tournament since 2009, where she finished runner-up to her kid sister, Serena. In the final, she met Caroline Wozniacki, against whom she would find herself down 4-6-0-5. However, as champions often do, Venus mounted a comeback by winning the next 4 consecutive games. Despite her efforts, she would ultimately lose by a score of 4-6-4-6. Regardless of her final loss of the season, 2017 would prove to be a renaissance for the elder Williams. Her season highlights would include: 1. Topping the money list with $5,468,741, 2. Making her 15th and 16th Grand Slam singles finals, 3. Winning her 775th match win, which is 7th best in the Open era, 4. Finishing the season ranked world number 5, 12 spots better than 2016, and 5. Reaching her 3rd championship match at the WTA Finals. Rivalries: Venus vs Serena. Main article: Williams sisters rivalry. Williams has played younger sister Serena in 28 professional matches since 1998. Overall, Venus has won 11 of those matches and Serena has won 17. They have met in 15 Grand Slam tournaments, with Venus winning 5 matches to Serena's 10. They have met in 9 Grand Slam tournament finals, with Venus winning twice. Of the 6 occasions where they met in an early round, the victor has gone on to win the championship 4 times, Venus once, in the 2000 Wimbledon Championships. Beginning with the 2002 French Open, they played each other in 4 consecutive Grand Slam singles finals, which was the first time in the Open era that the same 2 players had contested 4 consecutive major finals. Williams vs Hingis. Williams and Hingis met 21 times during their careers. The overall head-to-head series is 11-10, in Hingis' favor. Their rivalry is one of the best in women's sports and has been called a rivalry for the ages. The pair met in the 1997 U.S. Open final during Venus' debut. Hingis won the match in straight sets. Williams vs Davenport. Davenport leads the victory 14-13 in their 27 professional matches. Williams leads 3-0 in Grand Slam finals. The most noteworthy match they played was the 2005 Wimbledon Championships, which broke the record for the longest Wimbledon women's final. Williams won the match and also saved a match point, which makes her only the second woman in the Open era to save a match point and go on to win during a Grand Slam final. Fight for equal prize money. Despite years of protesting by tennis pioneer Billie Jean King and others, in 2005 the French Open and Wimbledon still refused to pay women's and men's players equally through all rounds. In 2005, Williams met with officials from both tournaments, arguing that female tennis players should be paid as much as male tennis players. Although WTA Tour President Larry Scott commented that she left a very meaningful impression, Williams's demands were rejected. The turning point was an essay published in The Times on the eve of Wimbledon in 2006. In it, Williams accused Wimbledon of being on the wrong side of history, writing, "I feel so strongly that Wimbledon's stance devalues the principle of meritocracy and diminishes the years of hard work that women on the tour have put into becoming professional tennis players. I believe that athletes, especially female athletes in the world's leading sport for women, should serve as role models. The message I like to convey to women and girls across the globe is that there is no glass ceiling. My fear is that Wimbledon is loudly and clearly sending the opposite message." Wimbledon has argued that women's tennis is worth less for a variety of reasons. It says, for example, that because men play a best-of-5 sets game they work harder for their prize money. This argument just doesn't make sense. First of all, women players would be happy to play 5 sets matches in Grand Slam tournaments. Secondly, tennis is unique in the world of professional sports. No other sport has men and women competing for a Grand Slam championship on the same stage, at the same time. So in the eyes of the general public the men's and women's games have the same value. Third, We enjoy huge and equal celebrity and are paid for the value we deliver to broadcasters and spectators, not the amount of time we spend on the stage. And, for the record, the ladies' final at Wimbledon in 2005 lasted 45 minutes longer than the men's. Wimbledon has justified treating women as second class because we do more for the tournament. The argument goes that the top women, who are more likely also to play doubles matches than their male peers, earn more than the top men if you count singles, doubles and mixed doubles prize money. So the more we support the tournament, the more unequally we should be treated. But doubles and mixed doubles are separate events from the singles competition. Is Wimbledon suggesting that, if the top women withdrew from the doubles events, that then we would deserve equal prize money in singles? And how then does the All England Club explain why the pot of women's doubles prize money is nearly £130,000 smaller than the men's doubles prize money? I intend to keep doing everything I can until Billie Jean's original dream of equality is made real. It's a shame that the name of the greatest tournament in tennis, an event that should be a positive symbol for the sport, is tarnished. In response, British Prime Minister Tony Blair and members of Parliament publicly endorsed Williams's arguments. Later that year, the Women's Tennis Association and UNESCO teamed for a campaign to promote gender equality in sports, asking Williams to lead the campaign. Under enormous pressure, Wimbledon announced in February 2007 that it would award equal prize money to all competitors in all rounds, and the French Open followed suit a day later. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. Please contact our sales support team in order to obtain a valid license for commercial use. In the aftermath, the Chicago Sun-Times cited Williams as the single factor that changed the minds of the boys and a leader whose willingness to take a public stand separates her not only from most of her female peers, but also from our most celebrated male athletes. Williams herself commented, "Somewhere in the world a little girl is dreaming of holding a giant trophy in her hands and being viewed as an equal to boys who have similar dreams." Venus herself became the first woman to benefit from the equalization of prize money at Wimbledon, as she won the 2007 tournament and was awarded the same amount as the male winner Roger Federer. Venus's fight for equality was documented in 9 for 9, Venus vs. It premiered on July 2, 2013. Other on-court activities, 1998, Karsten Brosch vs. the Williams sisters, main article, Battle of the Sexes, Tennis. Venus competed in a battle of the sexes, along with her sister Serena Williams, against Karsten Brosch at the 1998 Australian Open, who at the time was ranked 203rd. A decade and a half younger than Brosch, who was described by one journalist as a man whose training regime centered around a pack of cigarettes and more than a couple bottles of ice-cold lager. He nonetheless defeated both sisters, playing a single set against each, beating Serena 6-1 and Venus 6-2. Brosch said afterwards, 500 and above, no chance. He added that he had played like someone ranked 600th in order to keep the game fun. Personal life. Williams for the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute's National Wear Red Day. On December 13, 2007, Williams received her associate degree in fashion design from the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. In 2015, Williams received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from Indiana University East. Starting in 2011, she completed the degree through a reciprocal agreement between the university and the Women's Tennis Association, which allows athletes to play tennis professionally while studying online. Her ultimate goal is to get an MBA in the near future. Williams's longtime boyfriend, pro golfer Hank Kuhn, was a visible presence from the time of Wimbledon 2007 until 2010, when Kuhn dated and, in May 2011, married his current wife, Andy. Williams is now dating Cuban model Elio Piss, whom she met when he modeled for her 11 fashion line. In 2003, at age 31, Yedin Price, Venus and Serena Williams' older half-sister, was shot dead in Compton, California, near the courts on which the sisters once practiced. Price was the Williams sisters' personal assistant. The Williams family issued this statement shortly after the death: "We are extremely shocked, saddened and devastated by the shooting death of our beloved Yedin. She was our nucleus and our rock. She was a personal assistant, confidant, and advisor to her sisters, and her death leaves a void that can never be filled. Our grief is overwhelming, and this is the saddest day of our lives. In 2011, Williams was forced to withdraw from the U.S. Open before her second-round match, following a Sjogren's syndrome diagnosis. After the diagnosis, she adopted a vegan diet, as well as reducing her intake of calories and sugars, which helped get her back to match-winning fitness. Williams is a practicing Jehovah's Witness and often thanks Jehovah God after winning matches. Entrepreneur, Williams is the chief executive officer of her interior design firm V-Star Interiors located in Jupiter, Florida. Her company designed the set of the Tavis Smiley Show on the public broadcasting service, the Olympic athletes' apartments as part of New York City's failed bid to host the 2012 Olympic Games, and residences and businesses in the Palm Beach, Florida area. In 2001, Williams was named one of the 30 most powerful women in America by the Ladies' Home Journal. In 2007, Williams teamed with retailer Steve & Barry's to launch her own fashion line, 11. I love fashion, and the idea that I am using my design education to actually create clothing and footwear that I will wear on and off the tennis court is a dream come true for me. The vision has been to create a collection that will allow women to enjoy an active lifestyle while remaining fashionable at the same time. I'm thrilled with everything we've created to launch 11. Venus's line, 11 made its debut at the 2012 New York Fashion Week. It was modeled by athletes as opposed to models, a choice made by Venus herself to feature the sort of people the line was designed for. She flaunts her vibrant outfits each time she steps on the court. In June 2009, Williams was named 77th in the top 100 most power celebrities compiled by Forbes magazine. In August 2009, Williams and her sister Serena became part owners of the Miami Dolphins. The announcement was made during a press conference overlooking the practice field. This made the sisters the first African-American females to obtain ownership in an NFL franchise. Stephen Ross, the majority owner of the Dolphins, said, "We are thrilled to have Venus and Serena join the Dolphins as limited partners. They are among the most admired athletes in the world and have become global ambassadors for the game of tennis. Their addition to our ownership group further reflects our commitment to connect with aggressively and embrace the great diversity that makes South Florida a multicultural gem." In late June 2010, Williams released her first book, Come to Win, on how sports can help you top your profession, which she co-wrote with Kelly E. Carter. In promotion of the book, she embarked on a tour around America in support of the release, whilst also appearing on several talk shows, including The Early Show and Good Morning America. This gave her a place in the top 5 of the New York Times bestseller list. Recognition: in 2005, Tennis Magazine ranked her as the 25th best player in 40 years. In June 2011, she was named one of the 30 legends of women's tennis, past, present and future by Time. In March 2012, Tennis Channel aired a television series 100 Greatest Tennis Players of All Time, where she was ranked as 22nd. During the program, Williams was complimented by rival Lindsay Davenport, with Davenport saying Venus had more power than any other player on tour. Equipment: Coach, David Witt; Richard Williams, Orsine Price; Racket, Wilson Blade 98; Clothing, 11; Shoes, Nike. In 1995, when Williams was 14 years old, she signed an endorsement deal with Reebok and wore the company's apparel and shoes. She used Wilson Hammer 6.2 stretch racket. In 1997, Williams became the first woman since Pam Shriver in 1978 to reach the singles final of the U.S. Open on her first attempt. In 1997, Williams became the first player to be ranked outside the top 50 to reach the final at the U.S. Open. This would later be equaled by 2 players who would beat Venus on the way to the final: Clijsters, 09, Stevens, 17. In 1997, the combined ages of Williams at age 17 and Martina Hingis at age 16 in the U.S. Open final were the lowest in the Open-era history of that tournament. At 1999 IGA Super Thrift Classic in Oklahoma City, marking the first time in tennis history that sisters won titles in the same week, Serena won the Open Gaz de France in Paris. At the 1999 Lipton International Players' Championships in Key Biscayne became the first pair of sisters in the Open era to meet in a tournament final, with Serena Williams. In 2000, Williams became the second African American to win Wimbledon during the Open era. At the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Williams became only the second player to win Olympic gold medals in both singles and doubles at the same Olympic Games, after Helen Wills Moody in 1924. Serena Williams has since joined these two women in completing this feat when she won gold in the singles at 2012 London Olympics. By winning the 2001 Australian Open Doubles Championship, Venus and Serena Williams became the fifth pair to complete a career doubles Grand Slam and the only pair to win a career doubles Golden Slam. The 2001 US Open marked the first time in the Open era, and only the second time in 117 years, that sisters met in a Grand Slam singles final, with Serena Williams. In 2001, she became the third woman in the Open era, after Navratilova and Graf, to win both Wimbledon and the US Open in consecutive years. In February 2002, she became the first African-American woman to become world number one since the computer rankings began in 1975. In March 2002, at the Miami Open, her record streak of 22 consecutive wins, won the 1998, 1999, and 2001 titles skipped 2000, came to an end at the hands of her sister, Serena, who would go on to win the 2002 title. Serena would also win the 2003 and 2004 titles by winning 18 consecutive matches. In the 2005 Miami Open, Venus would place Serena in the quarter-finals after Serena won her 21st consecutive match in the third round. Venus would end up defeating her younger sister in straight sets, including a riveting 7-6, 10-8, second set, to halt her streak one win short of tying Venus' record. On June 10, 2002, Venus and Serena became the first sisters to hold the number 1 and number 2 spots in the singles rankings, respectively. Serena would supplant Venus for the number 1 ranking on July 8, 2002, and they would remain at number 1 and number 2 in the rankings until Venus fell to number 3 on April 14, 2003. On June 21, 2010, Venus and Serena again occupied the number 2 and number 1 spots in the singles rankings, respectively. This came almost exactly 8 years after first accomplishing this feat. At the time, Venus had just celebrated her 30th birthday and Serena was 3 months shy of her 29th birthday. Both were already beyond the ages at which many of their peers had retired. At Wimbledon in 2003, she reached her 4th consecutive Wimbledon final, which since the abolishment of the challenge round system is tied with Helen Wills Moody for 4th behind Navratilova's 9, King's 5, and Evert's 5. Williams, Hingis and Goolagong hold the Open-era record for consecutive losses in Grand Slam singles final appearances, 5. One of 4 women, the others being Serena Williams, Navratilova and Graf, to win the Wimbledon singles title at least 5 times during the Open era. This version is strictly for demonstration purposes only. Please contact our sales support team in order to obtain a valid license for commercial use. During the 2008 WTA Tour Championships became the third player after Steffi Graf and Serena Williams to beat the second Dinara Safina, third Serena Williams and first Jelena Jankovic-ranked players in the same tournament. At Wimbledon in 2009, Williams defeated world number 1 Dinara Safina in the semi-finals 6-1, 6-0, which was the most one-sided women's semi-final at Wimbledon since 1969, when King defeated Rosemary Casals by the same score. At the Miami Open, Venus and Serena have won a combined 11 titles, including 4 consecutive years from 2001 to 2004. Additionally, they both played in the championship match in 1999 and 2001. Venus would defeat Serena in the 1999 final and Serena would turn the tables 2 years later and beat Venus for the 2001 title. Williams held the record for the fastest serve in women's tennis at 207.9 km per hour, 129.2 mph, achieved at the 2007 US Open. She held this record for almost 7 years, until her record was broken by Sabine Lisicki at the 2014 Stanford Classic with a service speed of 210.8 km per hour, 131.0 mph. Williams became the first woman to win both year-end championships, the WTA Finals and the WTA Elite Trophy. She won the 2008 WTA Finals and then the inaugural WTA Elite Trophy in 2015. By reaching the semi-finals of the 2016 Wimbledon Championships, Venus became the oldest woman, at 36 years, to progress to a Grand Slam semi-final since Martina Navratilova in 1994 at Wimbledon. Williams also became just the third player over 36 years to reach a Grand Slam semi-final after Navratilova and Billie Jean King. She achieved this feat again when she reached the semi-finals at the 2017 Australian Open and the 2017 Wimbledon Championships at 37 years of age. At the 2017 Australian Open, Venus, at the age of 36 years, 7 months and 14 days, became the oldest Australian Open singles finalist in the Open era. At the 2017 Miami Open, Venus became the third woman to record 60-plus wins behind her sister Serena and Steffi Graf. She also became the oldest woman at 36 years and 10 months to defeat a current world number 1, defeating Angelique Kerber at this event in the quarter-finals. At the 2017 French Open, Venus broke the record and became the oldest woman to reach the fourth round by defeating Elise Mertens in straight sets. At the 2017 Wimbledon Championships, Venus joined Martina Navratilova as a fellow 37-year-old singles finalist. During the 2017 U.S. Open, Williams tied Chris Evert's record of most first-round wins at the U.S. Open without a loss. They share the record at 19. Williams also achieved her 74th U.S. Open match win, putting her third on the all-time list, behind Chris Evert and her sister Serena. Williams qualified for the 2017 WTA Finals, making her the third oldest athlete to qualify in the competition's history. The only two women older than Venus was Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova. During the 2017 WTA Finals, Williams competed against Ostapenko. Their match had 37 games. That is the most amount of games in a three-set format in the tournament's history. The match lasted 193 minutes, the second longest match since the tournament was held in Singapore. Williams prevailed in the marathon match 7-5-6-7-7-5. Venus became the oldest finalist in the WTA Finals when she narrowly got beat by her friend and competitor Caroline Wozniacki 4-6-4-6. Awards. See also, WTA Awards, 1995, Sports Image Foundation Award for conducting tennis clinics in low-income areas, 1997, WTA Newcomer of the Year, September's Olympic Committee Female Athlete, 1998, Tennis Magazine's Most Improved Player, 2000, WTA Player of the Year, WTA Doubles Team of the Year, with Serena Williams. Sports Illustrated for Women's Sportswoman of the Year, Teen Choice Awards, Extraordinary Achievement Award, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 62, Women's Sports Foundation Sportswoman of the Year for Team Sports, with Serena Williams, 2001, Best Female Tennis Player ESPY Award, Emma Best Sport Personality Award, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 57, 2002, Best Female Athlete ESPY Award, Best Female Tennis Player ESPY Award, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 60, 2003, the President's Award of the 34th NAACP Image Awards, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 65. 2004, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 1, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 77, 2005, Glamour Magazine's Women of the Year Award, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 81, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 3, 2006, Best Female Tennis Player ESPY Award, Bet's Best Female Athlete of the Year, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 1, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 90, 2007, Gitanjali Diamond Award, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 3, Vogue Magazine. Top 10 Best Dressed List for 2007, 2008, Whirlpool 6th Sense Player of the Year Award, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 3, Anti-Defamation League Americanism Award, Whirlpool 6th Sense Player of the Year Award, ITF Women's Doubles World Champion, with Serena Williams, WTA Doubles Team of the Year, with with Serena Williams, WTA Fan Favorite Doubles Team of the Year, with Serena Williams, Doha 21st Century Leaders Awards, Outstanding Leadership, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 77, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 2, 2009. WTA Doubles Team of the Year, with Serena Williams, WTA Fan Favorite Doubles Team of the Year, with Serena Williams, 2010, Caesars Tennis Classic Achievement Award, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 83, YWCA Phenomenal Woman of the Year Award, WTA Fan Favorite Doubles Team of the Year, with Serena Williams, Forbes 30 Utterly Inspiring Role Models, Forbes 100 Most Powerful Women in the World, No. 60, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 2, Jefferson Award for Outstanding Public Service in Professional Sports, 2011, Forbes The Celebrity 100, No. 86. Time Magazine 30 Legends of Women's Tennis, Forbes Most Powerful Black Women in the U.S., No. 10, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 2, 2012, World Team Tennis Finals Most Valuable Player, WTA Player Service Award, WTA Fan Favorite Doubles Team of the Year, with Serena Williams, 2013, Bet Black Girls Rock. Star Power Award, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 3, WTA Player Service Award, 2014, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 3, WTA Fan Favorite Dress, 2014 Wimbledon, Tennis Magazine Top 10 Matches of 2014 No. 3, 2014 Wimbledon Third Round, ESPN Tennis Top 10 Women's Matches of 2014 No. 3, 2014 Wimbledon Third Round, 2015, U.S. Open Sportsmanship Award, WTA February Best Dressed Player, WTA Roland Garros Best Dressed Player, WTA October Best Dressed Player, Harris Poll Top 10 Favorite Female Sports Star, No. 3, Harris Poll Top 10 Greatest Tennis Player, No. 5, WTA Comeback Player of the Year, WTA Social Fan Favorite TBT of the Year, 2016, Sports Illustrated Fashionable 50 Athletes. Williams played 3 tournaments during the North American 1998 summer hard-court season. She reached her 5th final of the year at the Bank of the West Classic in Stanford, California, defeating world number 6 Monica Seles in the semi-finals before losing to world number 1 Davenport. Patellar tendinitis in her left knee caused her to retire from her quarter-final match at the tournament in San Diego while trailing Mary Pierce 4-0 in the 3rd set. At the U.S. Open, Williams defeated 4th-seeded Sanchez Vicario in the quarter-finals before losing to 2nd-seeded and eventual champion Davenport in the semi-finals. Williams played 4 tournaments in the remainder of 1998. She won her 3rd title of the year at the Grand Slam Cup in Munich in September, defeating world number 9 Patty Schneider in the final. She lost in the 2nd round of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Filderstadt before losing in the final of the TIRI Swisscom Challenge in Zurich to world number 1 Davenport and the semi-finals of the TIRI Kremlin Cup in Moscow to Pierce. She had earned enough points during the year to participate in the year-ending Chase Championship but withdrew from the tournament because of tendinitis in her knee. She finished the year ranked world number 5. In 1998, Williams teamed with Justin Gimelstob to win the mixed doubles titles at the Australian Open and the French Open. Her sister Serena won the other 2 Grand Slam mixed doubles titles that year, completing a Williams family mixed doubles Grand Slam. Williams won the first 2 women's doubles titles of her career, in Oklahoma City and Zurich. Both titles came with sister Serena, becoming only the 3rd pair of sisters to win a WTA Tour doubles title. 1999. 3 TIRI titles and first Grand Slam doubles title. Williams started the 1999 Tour in Australia, where she lost to world number 10 Steffi Graf in the quarter-finals of the Medibank International in Sydney and world number 1 Davenport in the quarter-finals of the Australian Open. However, she rebounded at the Faber Grand Prix in Hanover, defeating Graf for the first time in the semi-finals before losing the final to world number 3 Novotná. Williams then successfully defended her titles in both Oklahoma City and Key Biscayne. She defeated Novotná and Graf to reach the final in Key Biscayne, where she defeated Serena in 3 sets in the first final on the WTA Tour to be contested by two sisters. Williams played 4 clay court events during the spring. She lost her first match at the Bausch & Lomb Championships in Amelia Island, Florida. 3 weeks later, however, she won her first title on clay at the Betty Barr Clay Cup in Hamburg, defeating Mary Pierce in the final. Williams then won the Tira Italian Open in Rome, defeating world number 1 Hingis in the semi-finals and world number 8 Pierce in the final. At the French Open, she extended her winning streak to 22 matches before losing in the 4th round to world number 125 Barbara Schwartz. Williams teamed with Serena to win the women's doubles title at this event, the first Grand Slam title the pair won together. At the 1999 Wimbledon Championships, Williams defeated world number 17 Anna Kournikova in the 4th round to reach the quarter-finals for the second consecutive year, where she lost to eventual runner-up Graf. Williams rebounded in the summer when she won 2 Fed Cup matches against Italy and lost in the final of the Bank of the West Classic in Stanford to world number 1 Davenport. 1 week later, Williams defeated Davenport in the semi-finals of the TIG Tennis Classic in San Diego before losing to world number 2 Hingis in the final. In her last tournament before the U.S. Open, Williams won the Pilot Pen Tennis in New Haven, Connecticut, defeating world number 5 Salas in the semi-finals and Davenport in the final. On August 30, 1999, her world ranking reached 3rd for the first time. Seeded 3rd at the U.S. Open, Williams lost in the semi-finals to world number 1 Hingis in 3 sets. However, she teamed with singles champion Serena at this event to win their second Grand Slam women's doubles title. During the remainder of the year, Williams contributed to the USA's victory over Russia in the Fed Cup final, winning 1 singles rubber before joining Serena to win the doubles rubber. At the Grand Slam Cup in Munich, Venus defeated Hingis in the semi-finals before losing to Serena for the first time in the final. Venus won her 6th title of the year at the Tira event in Zurich, defeating world number 1 Hingis in the final. 4 weeks later, she lost to Davenport in the semi-finals of the tournament in Philadelphia. Making her debut at the year-ending Chase Championships, Williams lost to Hingis in the semi-finals. She finished the year ranked world number 3. 2000-02, Williams sisters domination, 2000, Olympic gold medals and first and second Grand Slam titles. In 2000, Williams missed the first 5 months of the year with tendinitis in both wrists. She returned to the tour during the European clay court season. She lost in the quarter-finals of the Betty Barr Clay Cup in Hamburg to Amanda Coetzer and in the 3rd round of the Tira Italian Open in Rome to Jelena Dokic. Although she had won only 2 of her 4 matches before the French Open, she was seeded 4th there. She won her first 4 matches in Paris without losing a set before losing in the quarter-finals to 8th-seeded and former champion Arantxa Sanchez Vicario in 3 sets. Williams then won 35 consecutive singles matches and 6 tournaments. She won her first Grand Slam singles title at Wimbledon, defeating world number 1 Martina Hingis in the quarter-finals, sister Serena in the semi-finals, and defending champion Lindsay Davenport in the final. She also teamed with Serena to win the women's doubles title at this event. She won 3 Tier 2 events during the North American Summer Hard Court season, defeating Davenport in the final of the Bank of the West Classic in Stanford and Monica born in Linwood, California, to Richard Williams and Oracene Price. Her talents were apparent at the age of 7 when a professional local tennis player named Tony Chesta spotted Venus Williams and quickly identified the talent. The Williams family moved from Compton, California, to West Palm Beach, Florida, when she was 10, so that Venus and Serena could attend the tennis academy of Rick Macci, who took notice of the sisters and who would provide additional coaching. He did not always agree with Williams's father but respected that he treated his daughters like kids, allowed them to be little girls. Richard stopped sending his daughters to national junior tennis tournaments when Williams was 11, since he wanted them to take it slow and focus on schoolwork. Another motivation was racial. as he had allegedly heard parents of other players disparage the Williams sisters during tournaments. At that time, Venus Williams held a 63-0 record on the United States Tennis Association Junior Tour and was ranked number 1 among the under-12 players in Southern California. In 1995, Richard pulled his daughters out of Machi's academy, and from then on took over all coaching at their home. Playing style: Williams is a very powerful baseliner who also has an attacking all-court game. Her game is well adapted to grass, where she feels most comfortable, which is reflected in her 5 Wimbledon singles titles. She has developed into a skillful volleyer who uses her long arm span, 1.85 meters, and agility around the net. Williams also has great court coverage and can hit winners from a defensive position. Williams holds the record for fastest serve in 3 of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments: 2007 French Open second round, 2008 Wimbledon final, 2007 U.S. Open first round, 129 mph, 208 km/h. Professional career: 1994-96, professional debut. Venus Williams turned professional on October 31, 1994, at the age of 14. In the second round of her first professional tournament, the Bank of the West Classic in Oakland, Williams was up a set in a service break against world number 2 Arantxa Sanchez Vicario before losing the match. That was the only tournament Williams played in 1994. In 1995, Williams played 3 more events as a wild card, falling in the first round of the tournament in Los Angeles and the tournament in Toronto, but reaching the quarter-finals of the tournament in Oakland, defeating world number 18 Amy Frazier in the second round for her first win over a top 20 ranked player before losing to Magdalena Malieva. Williams played 5 events in 1996, falling in the first round 4 times but reaching the third round in Los Angeles, before losing to world number 1 Steffi Graf. 1997-99, early success: 1997, debut Grand Slam singles final. Williams played 15 tour events in 1997, including 5 Tier I tournaments. She reached the quarter-finals in 3 of the Tier I events: the State Farm Everett Cup in Indian Wells, California, the European Indoor Championships in Zurich, and the Kremlin Cup in Moscow. In Indian Wells in March, Williams defeated world number 9 Eva Majoli in the third round for her first win over a player ranked in the top 10. She then lost in the quarter-finals to world number 8 Lindsay Davenport in a third-set tie-break. Her ranking broke into the top 100 on April 14, 1997. She made her debut in the main draw of a Grand Slam tournament at the French Open, reaching the second round before losing to Natalie Tauziet. She then lost in the first round of Wimbledon to Magdalena Grzybowska. During her debut at the U.S. Open, she lost the final to Martina Hingis after defeating Irina Spurley in a semi-final, which saw Spurley intentionally collide with Williams during a changeover. Richard Williams, her father, later claimed that this incident was racially motivated. She was the first woman since Pam Shriver in 1978 to reach a U.S. Open singles final on her first attempt and was the first unseeded U.S. Open women's singles finalist since 1958. On September 8, 1997, her ranking broke into the top 50 for the first time. She ended the year ranked world number 22. 1998, first WTA singles title and entering the top 10. In her debut at the Australian Open, Williams defeated younger sister Serena in the second round, which was the sisters' first professional meeting. Venus eventually lost in the quarter-finals to world number 3 Davenport. 3 weeks later, Williams defeated world number 2 Davenport for the first time in the semi-finals of the IGA Tennis Classic in Oklahoma City. Williams then defeated Joannette Kruger in the final to win the first singles title of her career. In her first Tier I event of the year, Williams lost in the semi-finals of the State Farm Everett Cup in Indian Wells to world number 1 Hingis. The following week, Williams won the Tier I Lipton International Players Championships in Key Biscayne, Florida, defeating world number 1 Hingis in the semi-finals. On March 30, 1998, her ranking broke into the top 10 for the first time, at world number 10. Williams played only 1 tournament on clay before the 1998 French Open. At the Italian Open in Rome, She defeated sister Serena in the quarter-finals and world number 5 Sanchez Vicario in the semi-finals before losing to world number 1 Hingis in the final. Williams lost again to Hingis in the quarter-finals of the French Open. Williams lost her first match at the Direct Line International Championships in Eastbourne on grass before losing to world number 3 and eventual champion Jana Novotná in the quarter-finals of Wimbledon. On July 27, 1998, her ranking rose to world number 5. The truth about Venus Williams. Venus Ebony Starr Williams, born June 17, 1980, is an American professional tennis player who is currently ranked world number 5 in the WTA singles rankings. She is generally regarded as one of the all-time greats of women's tennis and, along with younger sister Serena Williams, is credited with ushering in a new era of power and athleticism on the women's professional tennis tour. Williams has been ranked world number 1 by the Women's Tennis Association on 3 occasions, for a total of 11 weeks. She first became the world number 1 on February 25, 2002, the first African-American woman to do so in the Open era. Her 7 Grand Slam singles titles puts her in a tie for 12th on the all-time list, and a tie for 8th on the Open era list, more than any other active female player except her sister Serena. In total she has reached 16 Grand Slam finals, the most recent being the finals at Wimbledon in 2017. She has also won 14 Grand Slam women's doubles titles, all with her sister Serena, and the pair are unbeaten in Grand Slam doubles finals. Venus also has 2 mixed doubles titles. Her 5 Wimbledon singles titles ties her with 2 other women for 8th place on the all-time list, but gives her sole possession of number 4 on the Open era list, only trailing Navratilova's 9 titles and Serena's and Graf's 7 titles. From the 2000 Wimbledon Championships to the 2001 U.S. Open, Williams won 4 of the 6 Grand Slam singles tournaments held. At the 2017 Wimbledon Championships, Williams extended her record as the all-time leader, male or female, in Grand Slams played, with 75. Williams's run to the 2017 Wimbledon singles final also broke the record for time elapsed between first and most recent Grand Slam singles finals appearances. Williams has won 4 Olympic gold medals, 1 in singles and 3 in women's doubles, along with a silver medal in mixed doubles. Venus also holds the record for the most Olympic medals won by a male or female tennis player, shared with Kathleen McCain-Godfrey. She is the only tennis player to have won a medal at 4 separate Olympic Games. At the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Williams became only the 2nd player to win Olympic gold medals in both singles and doubles at the same Olympic Games, after Helen Wills Moody in 1924. With 49 singles titles, Williams is behind only Serena among active players on the WTA Tour. Her 35-match winning streak from the 2000 Wimbledon Championships to the 2000 Generali Ladies Slims Tournament final is the longest since January 1, 2000. She is also one of only 3 active WTA players to have made the finals of all 4 Grand Slams, along with Serena and Russian Maria Sharapova. Early life. Venus Ebony Starr Williams was